PCOS. That's a hot topic these days, and I wanted to dive into it with a game plan of how you can help yourself. Let's go.
The goal here is to learn how to treat your mind and body like a professional athlete. Welcome to Mind Your Body. I'm Dr. Audra Lance. I'm a doctor of chiropractic who specializes in treating sports and non-surgical injuries, anything that involves muscles and joints. I treat big-name celebrities and professional athletes. Most of my patients refer to me as the witch doctor because they can't explain any other way their pain was removed that quickly. I hate cooking, but I do love wine, and don't even think about giving me anything that involves ketchup because I will not eat it. Every episode of this show is designed to help you move better, live better, and feel better. Now let's go do this thing.
Hello. I'm taking you on the road with me when I travel for clients in a different city with another client. Gonna give you a sneak peek of my hotel room if you're watching on YouTube. So here we go. I'm sitting in this beautiful couch, and then look at my view. So fun. I did not make the bed yet today. There we go. It's beautiful. I already had my morning walk, protein, coffee. So I am jacked, ready to go. And today I wanted to get into PCOS. I feel like it's the new fibromyalgia. It's what people are talking about. And while it's a real thing, I think people get diagnosed with it and feel very alone and isolated and just kind of like, well, I have PCOS. There's nothing we can do. It's kind of hopeless. That's what it is. And then you almost take on this identity like, oh, I have PCOS. And it's like, I want to tell you right now, you can help yourself. And that's not an excuse. Like, yes, of course, it's not fun. And there's things that come along with it, but this can be helped. We see this in the clinic all the time. And we co-manage this usually with some functional medicine people along with what we do. And everyone, whether you're doing a virtual appointment or you're with us in person in the clinic, you get your own created, detailed game plan. And it's specialized to you because everyone's a little different. Like you and your friend both might have PCOS, but there's different little things we need to do. But I wanted to share with y'all what like 5 steps of a game plan, like a generalized. While this is not medical advice, I'm not your doctor. Just something I want you to look into. Some things maybe you're like, oh, I could do that. I want to maybe try that or ask my doctor. So you're going to want to share this episode, post online, tag me with anyone that you know that has PCOS or has been diagnosed with it or thinks they may have it, because this is truly, truly going to help. All right. So some of you might be like, okay, what is PCOS? Well, some of the common symptoms are, number one, we hear the most of like inability to lose weight. They're just like, I've done all of this stuff. I've dieted, I've worked out. I feel like I'm eating healthy and I just cannot get this weight off. And that's due because there's an insulin sensitivity component to this. And blood sugar's off, your body's just dysregulated. Other people find out they have PCOS because they struggle with infertility and getting pregnant, or may have a miscarriage. There's all different components of this, and the symptoms are very widespread. And that's why it's kind of like the fibromyalgia thing. Like people try a bunch of stuff and then they're like, here, you have fibromyalgia. And I feel like it's similar with PCOS in the medical world. And then it's just almost like a dead end of can't help you. But I'm here to tell you, if you have fibromyalgia or PCOS, yes, you can be helped. It's not the end. Okay. Well, you come in and you're like, all right, how are we going to start my game plan? First, it is a chemical down at the cellular level. There's chemical inflammation that we need to address. And so that starts with, what are you putting in your mouth over and over and over again? Is that contributing to it? And the answer is, of course, everything we put in our mouth, including our water, we need to look at. So depending on the person, I have no idea. This is just an overview. We really love to start with a keto carnivore diet to start the inflammation. And really get your body switching from using glucose and carbs to more fat to burn, to support itself for energy. And that's really healthy with any kind of inflammation, brain inflammation, inflammation through your body of just like, hey, let's reset. We have an insulin problem. We're so used to using these sugars, carbs as energy. Let's have the body do a 180 and get it to using fats. Then 2, we need to take a pause. I know this might hurt from the HIIT workouts, because if you're already inflamed and then you're doing these HIIT workouts and your body's already so stressed, you're just raising your cortisol, raising your inflammation, and it can't recover. It can't do what it's supposed to do. So you're just in this heightened stress state constantly, and your body just can't handle it, and it's just producing more and more and more inflammation. So that's why we see a lot of females. I've gone through this of, oh my God, I'm working out all the time, I'm eating well, and I'm gaining weight, and not good muscle weight. You feel like inflamed and bloated and just like you can't lose weight, and it doesn't seem right. You have kicked your body with having insulin sensitivity problems, and it's just constant in this stress state. So it's trying to protect itself. So what we switch you to, I still want you to move. Movement heals, but more like, let's lift 2 to 3 times a week, heavy stuff. If you want to do Pilates and yoga on your other days, fine, but actual weights or body weight, like lifts, because that is what helps the metabolism when you're building muscle. That helps your metabolism increase. So lift heavy things. And I want you to walk every day. It is great to go even for a 10-minute walk after dinner, after you eat a meal. I love to start my mornings out with a walk. There's just something magical about walking in so many ways. It's also helpful for your lymph. It's helpful for your mind, emotional. And some morning, I would love to hear you guys comment on this, whether you like a morning or an evening walk. What do you feel is better for you? Or what can you squeeze in more? But some mornings I'm like, or evenings, I don't want to do this. And I'm like cranky. My mind is just going. By the end of the walk, it's like, I'm breathing. I'm calm. You work some of those thoughts out in your head. I used to listen to podcasts, and sometimes I still do, especially if I have a 2 walk a day, but I make sure one of my, especially a shorter walk, is just me in my mind. And that's a scary place sometimes, but it just really helps me work through some stuff and calm down. So in review, 1, we're going to go to more of a fat burning diet. We're going to stop with the super intense workouts and switch to lifting and walking for a period of time, because we need to give our body the break, but still movement, because it heals, to heal itself. And then 3, this is a pelvic floor issue. You have inflammation, possibly scar tissue, other tissue in your pelvic floor. So we need to do pelvic floor rehab, because I promise you, your brain is not correctly activating your core and your pelvic floor. So we need to go in there and break some of that up, and that's different for everyone. So where we need to start is with breathing, because I promise you, some of y'all, most of y'all, 95% of y'all are 1, holding your breath, 2, breathing incorrectly. So I want you to put either alarm on your phone, or if you sit at a computer all day, Post-its, like on your computer, on your desk, that just says breathe, or take a breath, something, just to remind yourself and get aware of, are you holding your breath? And then 2, episode 17, and I think 63 or 65, don't quote me, but we'll link it in the show notes, is going to take you through how to breathe into your butthole, because we need to be able to even get a breath down into that pelvic floor to correctly activate it. A lot of times our pelvic floor is too tense and too tight. So by doing a Kegel, you're messing it up. No, we need to be able to relax, and then from there have your brain correctly activate those muscles. And then with that pelvic floor rehab and tissue support, part of the tissue support is lymph drainage. So what does that include? Well, going for walks, like we already talked about, I also love just jumping up and down, or if you have like a small trampoline, it's called rebounding is the fancy word for it, for a couple minutes a day. And that it just activates the lymph system. It's said to help cellulite, but we just need your body. We're trying to help your body in its detox pathways to help heal. Because if you're not detoxing, if things aren't moving, it's just sitting stagnant and becoming more inflamed, more tense, more tight, more painful. And then your mood's going, bleh, like that very scientific word. So we need to be supporting this. Another thing I love for people to do is at the end of the day before they go to bed is just lay on your back and put your feet against the wall up and just close your eyes. Take a couple breaths in through your nose, out through your nose, breathing down in your butthole. This is the lymph drainage technique. It's also going to help you sleep better. And I'm all about easy, fun, more bang for your time because we only all have so much time. So let's do something simple, easy, that you're going to get more than one benefit for your time. So, I mean, walking, lifting weights, putting your legs up, jumping up and down, whatever you choose, just some things to help with lymph drainage. Of course, there's lymph massage and other things to support, but I'm just trying to give you the easy, like, you're kind of silly if you don't implement this. And this is good for everyone. And I also think you need to send this to the partners. Guys need to know what's going on and how they can support. And some of this stuff is great for them too, for their bodies and any kind of inflammation stuff. So we did parts 1 through 3 today. Keto, fat burning diet for a period of time based on you and your blood work and your symptoms. We're going to calm down, take a pause from the HIIT workouts. Don't get me wrong. We implement them back in and we're going to lift heavy things and walk. And then getting started on that pelvic floor rehab and tissue support. So the lymph drainage, but then also pelvic floor rehab. And then we do this stuff virtually through the clinic. So you can schedule online. We'll link the show notes and do a virtual appointment in our clinic with one of the doctors, or you can do it in person. So those are the first 3 things. Next week, I will be talking about steps 4 and 5 in this PCOS game plan. Please drop any questions you have. You can find me. We'll link that in the show notes at Dr. Audra Lance on Instagram. I'm also on the TikTok. And I just want to help you guys more, give you more resources, and just be real with you. You can help yourself. Just because you're diagnosed with PCOS doesn't mean this is the end and you're helpless. Okay. So forward this to anyone else you know. Tag me on Instagram if you share it. And we'll see you next week. Toodaloo.
Now, if you want to do something really special for me and got a lot out of this episode, go leave a 5-star written review of the show on Apple Podcast. And if you're a Spotify listener, just tap the 5 stars. To submit any of your health questions to the show, simply DM me on Instagram at Dr. Audra Lance. And don't worry, all your questions will be kept strictly anonymous. So send me all your embarrassing questions. And don't forget, breathe into your butthole. Toodaloo!